I'm about to go up against. Who I'm about to go up against? I'm Diddy. I'll never forget that. That little party I went to. Diddy party. We went to the little private area. Behind the cause he had a house behind his house. Like he had a backyard with his backyard with a fat bed, and then it had like a miniature little whatever.
Y'all, they don't woke up the beast Chrisean, and she is out for blood. But this time, she has her eyes set on none other than Miss Young Miami. See, recent revelations showed how Young Miami was allegedly trying to set Chan up and recruit her to be an ex-worker for Diddy. Why all know how Diddy and Miami were showing Chan all that love a while back? Well, it appears to be a part of their larger ploy. And listen, let me tell y'all that Chan is furious, as wild as she may be. She is still not about that type of lifestyle. She has vowed to jump Young Miami whenever she need her on site. And y'all know that Chan is not afraid to throw hands, so Young Miami might need to watch her back, cause Chan is not here to play. Was Miami really trying to get Chrisean into a freak off, thinking it was going to be a vibe all the time?
Diddy jacked your up that day when we was at the party. He grabbed me. He grabbed Lemmy by his collar. It was like, don't ever play with that girl ever again. Talking about me, like, don't ever play with her. Like,
well, Miss Young Miami did not get the update that Chan is not the kind of person that you want to mess with, cause Chan just dared Miami to pull up on her, and things are about to get messy if she do. Now, we know that Young Miami likes to talk all that talk. But let me see if she could walk, cause acting all that tough, if we're being real, she just doesn't stand a chance against Chrisean in a fight, cause we've seen Chrisean fighting everybody and their mama. But hold up, let's rewind a little bit, because the idea of Young Miami and Chan fighting might be a little too crazy, so let me break it down. The reason that Chan is allegedly threatening to fight Miami is that she recently put 2 and 2 together, and realized that Young Miami was allegedly trying to pimp her out to Diddy. Now, one thing about Chrisean is that she has been through a whole lot in this industry, between getting into fights with her baby daddy, Blueface giving birth on Instagram Live, and a whole lot of other shenanigans that I can't even start to get into, cause Chan has done it all. The one thing about her is that she has a lot of fans, and in return that gets her into a lot of rooms in the industry. I mean, we've seen Chan roll with a lot of celebrities like Drake Tamer and Tony Braxton Lil Baby, and now even Diddy. Now between Chrisean and Blueface acting out, most of these meetings often go wrong. But hey, at least other CBS want to hang out with her. But that's why it wasn't so surprising that we saw her at Diddy's parties last year. There's this action between her and Diddy that seemed kind of weird, because it was like he was trying to kiss her, and she looked super uncomfortable with it. However, she clearly had a blast at the event, cause she and Young Miami were dancing all over each other. But then again, Chrisean is known for her wild party lifestyle, so it wasn't all that surprising that she was at the party turning up, especially because Diddy was known to throw some of the biggest and wildest parties in Hollywood. But of course, this was before the lawsuits were brought against him by Cassie Elrod and those 3 other women. Now, at the time, we thought that Diddy parties were just wild. But the worst thing we thought about the parties was that there were alleged orgies, a lot of drinking, and maybe some gay activities here and there. But nothing like these crazy details that we've been finding out these past couple of weeks. But these lawsuits, for a quick recap, Cassie exposed Diddy for hosting freak-off parties where he would force her to hire male ex-workers, and then be intimate with these ex-workers while he watched and got off on it. Little Rod's lawsuit that he filed against Diddy in February took things from bad to worse, because he really took a deep dive into Diddy's parties and what went on behind the scenes. And y'all, it was real bad. He talked about Diddy's parties, claiming that the parties were filled with young girls who were below the legal age of consent, if you know what I mean. And he also claimed that Diddy allegedly drugged and saw women at these parties, claiming that Miami allegedly helped her cousin saw him as well. He wrote, Mr. Coles was intoxicated and offered cocaine to Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones rejected him and proceeded to walk to the restroom. While using the restroom, Young Miami's cousin burst into the bathroom and began groping Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones believes that Mr. Com sent her in there to SAA Mr. Jones. As she entered the bathroom, she dropped to her knees and began performing oral action while Mr. Jones's exposed private. Mr. Jones pushed her away and exited the bathroom. It continued. Young Young Miami's cousin did not accept Mr. Jones's rejection as she proceeded to follow Mr. Jones out of the bathroom. She started undressing and attempted to straddle him and have intimacy with him in the presence of Mr. Combs and his staff. Now, of course, Young Miami was also present at this party, and according to Little Rod, she did nothing and said nothing. Instead, she watched while her cousin tried to sign another person and did nothing about it. But that's not all, y'all, because Lil Rod also F more documents where he really went in on Young Miami, exposing her for various things like how she allegedly has a drug habit and does nose candy with did. The documents said on another occasion in Miami, Florida on Thanksgiving night of 2022, Mr. Combs asked Mr. Jones and DeForest Taylor to enter the studio bathroom. He asked them for a $100 bill because he wanted them to do with him. Mr. Jones was scared, but luckily he didn't have a $100 bill, so Mr. Combs waited a little later to do coke with Young Miami. He also accused Young Miami of allegedly helping Diddy to transport drugs as well as bringing drugs to Diddy whenever he needed it, no matter where he was. According to the court documents, plaintiff and the Combs Rico Enterprise were rehearsing for something in the Water Festival in Virginia. The court filing reads, plaintiff Jones personally witnessed Mr. Combs do a few lines of coke in his dressing room. Defendant Sean Combs wanted Ty, but Brendan forgot it, so defendant Christina Coram called Young Miami, who then brought it on the private jet for Miami. Lil Rod didn't stop there because he then accused Young Miami of being Diddy's ex-worker and getting a payment from him in exchange for her services. If you catch my drift, the document said Young Miami, Jade, and Daphne Joy were paid a monthly fee work as Mr. Combs' ex-workers and receive payment via wire transfer from Robin Greenhill, which outlined defendant's ongoing criminal operation. Well, as it turns out, not only was she allegedly working as his ex-worker, but she was allegedly also working as some sort of recruiter, allegedly pimping out other women to him. Now, this part wasn't all that shocking because people have had their suspicions ever since they dragged Gina One Diddy's other side piece and threatened her with the free cough. She said, if I wanted you to eat my P. Diddy would have had you on your knees, you eater. Gina, you've been down bad ever since I came into the picture. You've been crying for a baby for 10 years. You've been around as a bee that eat P and D when he feel like it. Use eater, you the same bee that was crying on Tasha K cause you wanted a baby, Pua Sushi. So the thought of her working as a recruiter wasn't that crazy. But what was real crazy is that there are now reports that allegedly Chrisean was one of the women she tried to recruit. Blueface's mama Carissa was the first to make this claim.
They was trying to recruit Chrisean. That's what Diddy and what's the girl Carisha was trying to recruit Rock. Remember that when they was heavily trying to get Rock to hang out with them? I think they was trying to recruit her. She got a lot going on. We're going to talk about it on this podcast. And we're going to get to the nitty gritty of all the gritty of the nitty. Because it's necessary. I think them was trying to recruit her. Because remember they just had her pulling up to everything. Thought she about you left her. Yeah, remember? See what I'm saying? We don't, this podcast going to be, because y'all know the mama know everything, everybody business. So we going to find out on this podcast. We ain't gonna talk no shit about nobody. We ain't gonna mock nobody, but we definitely gonna explore the possibilities that was going on. Because they kept calling her, remember, pull up to the birthday party. Come over here and dance on Carisha. Remember that? I feel like they was trying to recruit that baby.
Now at first we thought that Karis was just chasing clout again as usual. But fans started to put two and two together, and the math was kind of mathing. I don't know if y'all remember this, but there was a time when Diddy was acting all nice to Chrisean, inviting her to his events, and was all buddy-buddy with her. He showed her so much love that according to Chrisean herself, it made Blueface so jealous that he threw her out of his house. She tweeted, let me name a list of artists and important people you got mad at me for them showing interest or love. My fans already got the receipt straight cause he followed me. Cause at his party he gave me my flowers and my stuff was thrown outside. But that's not all, because there's also this video where Chan was talking about how she had issues with Lamal Plummer, who is the producer of Bad as well as the CEO of Zeus Network. She claimed that he didn't want to pay her what she deserved. When Diddy heard about it during one of his parties, he threatened